welcome again to Granny Growan. We are starting really to get into the autumn. It's getting colder and it's getting darker every day. But the flowers are still up and the colours around in the nature are wonderful, wonderful colours. This week it was really starting to get a bit chilly, and you put on your heating and you put on the lights and you think, wow, it's getting really into the autumn and the cold, cold weather. Anyway, it's still very beautiful outside and the flowers are still up, and I think that's very nice. To be honest, I like the autumn very much. Although it's colder, I like this weather. Last night I went out, and to be quite honest, it's been such a long time since I've been out. I've been to parties, family parties, and of course I've been working and you see people, so it's not a problem that you see people. But to go out, to dress up, to go out and experience something together with friends, that has been far away for the last 1.5 years since the COVID came. But yesterday I went to the theatre. We went to a restaurant and have dinner before the show, and we had a nice talk, and we saw all these people, and I was the first one there, so I was just sitting, waiting for the others, and just taking in the atmosphere again, listening to conversation at the other table, seeing the people laughing and talking together and drinking their beer, and it was just so nice. And I realized how much I miss it. But I had my fish and chips. I was hoping to get cider, but they didn't have cider, so I had to have just water because I was driving my car. So, well, we went to the theatre. It was a guest production, and it was so fascinating. It was this production here called Déjá, and it was an international company. Some of the actors are Norwegian and some of the actors are from various countries. And, well, I shall talk about this now. So, the performance was an inspiration of a book called Here by Richard Maguire. And they take up 20 square meters on the stage. That starts with it, and then it's a living room suddenly, and what happens within this 20 square meters from almost the beginning of life and into today, 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 1,000 years ago, 20 years from now, 100 years from now, 200-300 years from now, what happens into these 20 square meters on Earth? And all these characters come together, and it's a mixture of time and space and ideas and hopes and wonders and quarrels, and oh, it was so fascinating. And physical theatre, puppeteering, illusions, dance, movement, and a little conversation, but very little really. Mostly just sounds, and sometimes speeches came on, but not talked by the actors. I was so fascinating, and all these actors have been in France and worked at or studied at a famous school in France, in Paris, called Le Coq. And well, gosh, it really took my heart. Of course, I studied in London at a very traditional theatre school back in the 70s, and I mean, theatre has moved so much forward since then. For hundreds and thousands of years almost, theatre was very much the same. It was the speech that was in the front. But then in the 70s, while I was at drama school, but it hadn't really come into the institutions. It was there at the very beginning, the 70s. But then the physical theatre came, and it was sort of moving into something different. And I wish, in a way, that I could have studied later on, so I could have had more learning from this new kind of theatre. And therefore I so much enjoy seeing performances by the young actors, because they have so much more, they have more tools than we had. But the fascination between dance and theatre has always interested me, and I try to do so in my own performances, but of course I haven't got those special skills. I just do it, and I am a physical person, so I express myself through my body as well. But it was fascinating, and the idea was so fascinating, and I've been thinking of it almost all night, and I just wanted to share my thoughts, some of my thoughts, with you. Some people say to me that, oh, but you do so much, you are so active, how do you manage? And I think, well, you have to push yourself. You have to push yourself forward every day, every minute of the day, really. Living on your own like I do, there is no one to say, well, let's vacuum clean, let's do this, let's do that, let's go out, let's go for a walk. There's no one who is pushing you, so you have to learn to push yourself. And I think that is what I have taught myself from very, very early on. When I started studying in London, there was no mummy and daddy pushing myself. And of course, I wanted different things than my fellow students as well. I wanted to see much more theatre. I wanted to go deeper into things than most of my fellow students. And therefore I had to say no to the party next door. I had to go to the theatre and experience and see. And therefore, during that time in London, I learned to push myself and not being pushed by others. And of course that is a good thing. But it's also, I'm a very independent person, so I don't like to be pushed by others. And in a work situation, that can be a problem. If the boss says to me that I have to do this and that and I don't want to, well, then it can be a problem. But anyway, as I said, the autumn has come, the flowers are still here, and they are so full of life and full of colours, and outside it's full of colours, and it's yellow and orange and brown and dark red and light red. Yes, I enjoy this time. and I hope you do too. So that's really all I want to say this vlog. Take care. Have a nice autumn, and I will see you in a fortnight's time. Bye for now.